Klasse. I just wanted to tackle a couple common misconceptions I'm seeing with German words, specifically lieben, leben, and gehen, and the way they're used in. So, to jump into us, first thing that comes up fairly frequently is mixing up lieben and leben. Lieben means to love, whereas leben means to live. And I think it's just a misspelling problem, dropping the I out of there and changing lieben into leben. But something we want to be aware of, just to help make what we're saying and writing, perfectly clear. So, you might be asking yourself, okay, love, how do we use this one by mistake? And basically, here's how you use it. Use it for a spouse. Use it for a family member. Use it for a boyfriend or girlfriend, someone that you love. Now, very informal use, kind of slangy, you might use it among your friends. Tell your friends like, oh, I love you. But you wouldn't tell that, you might use it right among your own inner circle of friends you're really close with, but you wouldn't use it among other people and be like, oh yeah, I love those guys. Or you wouldn't talk to adults that way and say, oh yeah, those are my friends, I love them. Because it's very informal, very slangy sort of a use. Can be done, but maybe with a lot of caution. Sometimes you could also use it with an object. Say something like, ich liebe Schokolade, I love chocolate. But where you wouldn't want to use it, you don't want to use it with activities, games, sports, things like that. So, like ich liebe Fußball, you might not be what you want to say. So just restrict it very much. Basically, gets the idea. Germans don't use love as casually as we do in America, where it just means like a lot. Okay, then we get down to Leben, and Leben is sort of a false friend because it translates as live, but our Germans don't use it the same way we use live in every case. So specifically, wohnen is the spell that way wrong. Wohnen is the word that we want to use when we're talking about living somewhere, or we might translate that as reside, even though that's not really a common English word. Leben means live, just in the sense that it's not dead. Okay, so we want to be sure we're careful with that. We don't want to be mixing those up, because that could just be a cause of confusion. Okay, the last one. And this one, for me, as maybe an English speaker, was the hardest to get. And I talked with a German colleague of mine and said, I'm seeing the students using gehen in ways that I know is not right, but I'm having trouble explaining why. And she just looks at me and said, that's really easy, actually. Because when you're saying something in English like I'm going to, you're actually talking in the future tense. Like you're saying, I'm going to run, you're not in the present tense. You're talking about something that will happen in the future. But in German, all these words are just present tense, and they don't sort of signify that future tense. So that's where the mistake's being made here. So like this example sentence, ich gehe ins Restaurant essen. We wouldn't want to say that, because this is what, or at least I'm thinking that you're thinking when you say this, I'm going to eat in a restaurant. But because German doesn't have that future idea from going to, the sentence just doesn't work out. Just say, ich esse ins Restaurant. Alright, so that's just a couple things. Let me know if you have any questions, or, as always, let me know how I can ever help.